Good day to everyone, and once again, welcome for another video presentation with regards to fingerprint. And now, the last time we have discussed already on the fingerprint classification system, and we started with the primary classification. We started finding out the primary classification. So now we are going to move on with the secondary classification naman. Okay, so ano naman po ang meron sa secondary classification. So it says in here that in secondary classification, this represents the type, okay, of pattern appearing on the index of the fingers. Okay, so we'll be focusing on the index of the fingers. Okay, but we are also going to include. Okay, so the index finger on the index fingers, we are going to use the capital letter group. Okay, so both right and the left index fingers. Okay, so we are going to use capital letter group. However, we have here also the small letters group. So dito kasi sa secondary classification, meron tayo yung tinatawag na capital letter group and then the small letter group. Okay? So sa index finger, ulitin ko, ang gagamitin natin ay yung capital letter group. So I'll be showing you as we move on. And then for the small letters group, we are going to use it on the thumb, okay, thumb, middle, ring, and then the little finger. Okay, so in other words, okay, index finger we are going to use capital letter group, and for the other fingers we are going to use small letter group. Okay, so that is what we are going to look on sa secondary classification. The type of the pattern appearing on the index fingers of each hand. Okay, so saan po nakapwesto ulit ang ating secondary classification? So, dito sa may bandang kanan po ng primary classification. So, the primary classification is here and we are done already on the part 1 of our video, finding out on how to find the or how to attain the primary classification. So this time, this is the secondary classification. Okay? So that is what we are going to determine for now. So nabanggit din po natin last time in the primary classification about the numerator and then the denominator. Okay? So sabi po natin the last time with regards to the numerator, sa primary classification, ang numerator natin composes the even fingers. Okay? Or the even numbered fingers. Tama po ba? Okay, so yun. For the numerator, we consider the even numbered fingers. Okay? And for the denominator, we consider the odd numbered fingers. Okay? So yun ay para sa primary classification. Okay? Pero sa atin ngayon dito sa secondary classification, automatically the numerator will be the right index finger. Okay? The right index finger or the right hand will automatically or the fingerprints found in the right hand, okay, will automatically be the numerator. And then for the left hand will automatically be the denominator. Okay, so yun po yung pagkakaiba ng numerator sa primary classification as well as the denominator again with the primary classification. Okay, so now we are going to have here how to find out the secondary classification. So let's try to have here again the one that I've been mentioning a while ago, the capital letter group. Okay, the capital letter group is this. Okay, so it is also written or the in if we are going to create, okay, our own keyword, okay, or for us to easily remember. So we have here the ATRUWWCDX. Okay, so these are the capital letter group and we are going to use this on our index fingers. Okay, sa index fingers po natin ito magagamit. Okay, So ano po yung ATRUWCDX na ito? Okay? Ang ibig sabihin lang naman po niyan is same as those what we have shown the last time. Okay? So plain arch, that is symbolized by a big letter A. Tented arch, that is symbolized by a big letter T. And radial loop, that is big letter R. For ulnar loop, big letter U. Plain whorl naman, same lang din. Big letter W. Central pocket loop whorl, that is represented by big letter C. Double loop whorl, represented by big letter D. And accidental whorl, represented by the big letter X. Okay, so that is for, this is being shown, or this is the one that we are going to use on the, for the index finger. Okay, and for the small letter group po naman, we have here only three. Okay, tatlo lamang po yung i-include natin. Hindi po lahat-lahat nito, or hindi po lahat-lahat ng patterns we are going to consider on the small letter group in the secondary classification. Okay, so ano po yung idadagdag lang natin? So this is used, the small letter group is used for or shown on the other fingers. Okay, other fingers or sa thumb po natin, sa thumb, sa little finger, sa middle finger, and then sa ring finger. Okay, so ano yung tatlong pattern na i-include lang po natin in the secondary classification? It is with the keyword, okay, rat. Para po hindi natin makalimutan, rat. Okay, or kung gusto nyo, art. Okay, pero sa atin, gamitin na lang natin rat. So ano po yun? The radial loop. We are going to consider the radial loop, and then that if that is found on the other fingers, not in the index finger, then we are going to write small letter R. Okay, ganun din po sa plain arch. Okay, we are going to write small letter A, and then tented arch, we are going to use small letter T. So yun lamang po yung tatlong patterns that we are going to include in secondary classification. So let's try to have here again uh, a note. Okay, so what we should be take note also, okay, in secondary classification. So sabi dyan, if the pattern appear in the remaining finger is not plain arch, okay, it's not plain arch, tented arch, or radial loop, or wala dun sa small letter group na i-include natin, okay, wala sa tatlo. Sir, paano po pag wala dito sa tatlong to, sa small letter group? Okay, ang natagpuan natin, na natagpuan sa other fingers. So, ano po yung isusulat natin? Ano yung gagamitin natin na symbol? So, klarong-klaro po dito ang gagamitin natin. We are going to write dash, okay? Or kung hindi man, we are just going to leave it blank, okay? Wag na po nating sulatan, or pwede rin po lagyan natin ng dash. Okay, so that is in case na wala po tayong mahanap, okay, na tatlo, na kabilang po sa small letter group na ito na tatlo. Okay, so with that, yan po yung isa sa kailangan nating tandaan, okay, before we are going to have here this example. Okay, so let's try to have here an example to show or for us to understand more about the secondary classification. Okay, so just imagine again, this is the fingerprint card. Okay, so the 10 boxes, those are what we are going to focus on. So meron po tayong 10 boxes doon. Okay, for us to determine or for us to attain, okay, the classification formulas here. So again, this is taken from the right hand. Okay, right hand po natin. And these are fingerprints taken from the left hand po naman yung nasa baba. Okay, so with that, meron po tayo dito, or sabi po sa secondary classification, what we are going to focus on is the index fingers of both hands. Okay, and take note, sa index fingers we are going to use capital letter group. Okay, and then kapag naman po sa other fingers, sa thumb, middle finger, ring finger and little fingers, whether that could be on the right hand or left hand, ang gagamitin po natin ay small letter group. Pero take note, tatlo lamang po yung i-include natin. The radial loop, okay, the plain arch, and then of course the tented arch or yung rat na nabanggit natin kanina. And then paano naman kapag wala dun sa tatlo? Okay? Na nakita natin sa ano, nakita natin on the other fingers. Okay? Nakita natin na pattern pero wala sa small letter group. So ang isusulat po natin is a dash or a blank one. A blank, or we are going to leave it blank. So again, look at this pattern or look at this example. Okay, so we have here the right index finger, and then we have here also the left index finger. Okay, so that is finger 2 and finger number 7. So what are the patterns that we are going, what are the patterns that that is in finger number 2 and finger number 7? So ano po yung pattern na meron tayo dito? Okay, so mapapansin naman natin, it has a letter T symbol that is representing tented arch po yung meron dyan. Okay, and then meron din po tayo dito, whirl pattern. Kunwari nakakita tayo ng whirl pattern sa finger number 7. So that is, okay, anong gagawin po natin? We are going to just write that on the classification formula. Okay, so the numerator will be the right index finger, and then the denominator will be the left index finger. Or yung nasa taas, yung right index finger, then nasa baba, yung pattern. Okay, that symbolizes or that represents the uh, the letter that represents the pattern that we find out, okay, that we were able to find out dun sa left index finger or nakita natin sa left index finger. Kaya kung mapapansin niyo, bakit kaya TW ang nilagay sa classification line? I mean, sa classification formula. Okay? So, it's because galing po siya dito. So, the numerator, which is the right index finger, a big letter T or the capital letter group, letter T. Okay? And then sa baba, plain word, capital letter group ang gagamitin. Okay? So, sabi natin, we are going to include also the other fingers. Okay? Pero tatlo lang po yung titignan natin. Okay? So, pansinin natin, sa right thumb po ba natin, ano ang meron dito? Okay? Sabi natin, we are going to include only the small letter groups, those three small letter groups that are stated. Okay, the rat. So, ito po ba, kasali po ba dun sa rat? Okay, is it a radial loop? Is it a plain arch? Is it a tented arch? Okay, so, mapapansin po natin, hindi po siya kasama kasi ito po ay isang whirl pattern yung nandito sa finger 1. Kaya ang nilagay po natin is dash. And then meron din po sa kabila, hindi po natin nilagyan. Okay? Hindi po natin nilagyan or blanco po siya. Okay? So anyway, this should be aligned. Okay, dito. So anyway, that is, okay, let us try to correct in here. Okay, nagkaroon tayo ng problem lang doon po sa illustration natin. So again, dito, TW. Okay, and blanco po kasi, yun nga sabi natin, pwedeng dash po yung gamitin natin or pwede rin naman pong kahit blanco na lang. Okay, so parang ganyan po yung itsura nitong nandito. Okay, so anyway, going back, okay, nandito naman po yung middle finger. So ano po yung middle finger natin? So nakatutok po yung opening ng ating loop. Okay, sa radial loop. Nakuha po yan sa right top. Sa right middle finger. Okay, so nakatutok sa radial bone po natin yung opening ng loop natin. Kaya radial loop. Tama po yan. So kasama po ba dyan sa ano? Kasama po ba siya sa rat or sa small letter group that we are going to consider in the secondary classification? So yes po ang sagot. Kaya nalagay natin dyan R. And then ganun po dyan. Small letter group R kasi it's still a radial loop. And then dito naman sa kabila. Okay? Bakit hindi loop naman po ito, sir? Bakit po natin hindi sinama? Okay? Kasi nga wala po sa small letter group under under secondary classification, wala po ang ulnar loop. Kasi ulnar loop po ito. Okay? Kaya ang ilalagay pa rin po natin, dash or simply leave it blank. Okay? Kaya blanco po yung dito rin. Okay? And then sa baba naman, on the denominator part. Okay? Kung mapapansin ninyo, nakuha po yung fingerprint na ito on the left thumb. Okay? And then nakatutok po yung opening niya sa radial bone natin. Okay? Yung opening ng loop. Kaya ang ibig sabihin po niyan, that is a radial loop. Kaya po sinama, meron po tayong letter R dito. Okay, on the finger number 6. And kung mapapansin po natin sa tatlo, C, D, W, kasama po ba sila sa small letter group? Okay, or in other words, the rat. Okay, those three patterns on the small letter group? Hindi. They are all words. Kaya ang ilalagay po natin is tatlong dash na magkakasunod. Okay, or leave it blank. Kaya ang kalalabasan, if we are going to write it in our classification formula, okay, magiging ganito po ang itsura. Okay, or pwede rin merong dash po na nakalagay. Okay, so kanina, or on our previous video, the primary classification, we were able to find out, okay, the primary classification is 4/20. And then yung secondary classification po natin is ito na po, yung katabi. Okay? So, ganun po natin makukuha ang secondary classification. Alright. So, let's try to create our own example naman po. Okay? So, let's say again, this is finger 1 to 5 and then 6 to 10. Okay? Parehas pa din po. Right hand po ito. Right hand. Okay? And then left hand po itong nasa baba. Okay? So, let's say, ang nakita natin po dito sa ano natin, okay, finger 1. Okay, this is, para hindi ma-confuse, okay, right thumb po again ito. Right thumb, and then this is the right little finger. Okay, and then we have here the left thumb, okay, or finger number 6, and then the left little finger, or finger number 10. Okay, so again, kunwari po, ang meron po tayo dito is, sabihin natin, this is ulnar loop. Okay, and this one is central pocket loop whirl. And then nakakita tayo ng pattern dito na radial loop. Okay, dito naman po radial loop again. And then dito naman po, sabihin na natin accidental whirl sa little finger on the right hand. Okay, and then dito naman po nakakita tayo ng double loop whirl. Okay, and then dito rin nakakita tayo ng tented arch. Sabihin natin na tented arch. And then meron din tayo dito radial loop 10. Okay, and then we have here central accidental whirl and then central pocket loop whirl. Okay, so let's say ganun po yung meron tayo, yung na-collect natin na fingerprint patterns. Okay, na perform na natin ang blocking out. So meron na tayo yung symbols. Okay, so we are going to find out the secondary classification. So ano yung una natin gagawin? Again, okay, we are going to consider the right hand as the right hand or the fingerprint patterns found in the right hand as the numerator, and then sa baba po natin sa denominator, fingerprint patterns found on the left hand. Okay? So again, focus tayo sa index fingers muna. Okay? Kasi yan yung concern natin sa secondary classification. So mauuna po, ano po yung nandito sa index fingers natin? So we are going to use capital letter group, and nandyan po ang ilalagay lang po natin sa classification formula. So central pocket loop whirl and tented arch. Okay, ngayon we are going to consider again those small letter groups. Okay, or those small letter groups that are found from the other fingers. Okay, yung tatlo na small letter group. Okay, so ano yun? The rat. Again, so tingnan natin, magsimula tayo sa right thumb. Sa right thumb, meron tayo dito sabi ulnar. Okay, ulnar loop po ang nakita natin. So isasama po ba natin or isusulat po ba natin ang small letter U? Sagot, hindi. Anong isusulat natin? We are going to use dash kasi hindi siya kasama sa small letter group, sa tatlong small letter group na radial loop, tented arch, and plain arch. Okay, na binabanggit natin kanina pa. Diba? So, dash po ang ilalagay or you can simply leave it blank. Okay, and then sa finger number 3, middle finger, ano po ang meron tayo? Radial loop. So, kasama siya. Same as with the ring finger. So, isama po natin silang dalawa. Okay, sulat natin small letter R, hindi po big letter R kasi hindi naman siya nakita sa index finger. So, ganun din po sa finger number 5. That is a whorl, kaya ang ilalagay is dash kasi hindi siya kasama sa small letter group under the secondary classification. Parehas din po sa finger number 6, that is still dash. And then sa finger number 8, that is radial loops, kasama siya. Okay, and then accidental whorl, hindi siya kasama. And then central pocket loop, hindi rin siya kasama. Okay, so ang kalalabasan po ng ating fingerprint class, secondary classification is ganto. Okay, so yan po ang ating secondary classification. So, dash C R R dash over dash T or big letter T and then R, small letter R, dash dash. Okay, so ito po ngayon ang ilalagay natin sa ating classification formula. Okay, so katulad po ng ito. Okay, so that is for the secondary classification. So with that, I hope that at least we were able to you were able to learn something in this video. And for the next video, we are going to create also on the next fingerprint, division or classification, which is the subsecondary classification. So for now, thank you very much for watching and see you next time.